So, I just got back from my first ever PAXU, and there was one game I spent a ton of time playing, and it's called Don't Botch the Broccoli. I am going to talk some more about Pirate Borg and playing a game with these folks in just a minute, but first I want to talk about this game that I was demoing for some friends called Don't Botch the Broccoli. So for the first time ever, I got to experience a con from the other side of the booth. I was helping at a booth with some local friends of mine who happen to be game designers who were debuting their new game, Don't Botch the Broccoli. It's a fun little 3 to 5 player card game that takes about 5 minutes where you match up cards and you try to cook your broccoli to get points. It ended up being a really fun, interesting, and somewhat exhausting experience getting to see what it's like to be a vendor, to constantly try to pitch games to people, to play those games in a short amount of time, try to explain how they're played without getting people too confused or lost or spending too much time at the booth. You gotta open it up first. And even though they're friends of mine, I am not sponsored to talk about these games. I just had a lot of fun playing them, and I wanted to share them with you guys, even though that's not really what I generally do here on the channel. So, Don't Botch the Broccoli is a really simple game. You have 5 different decks of the same cards, -1 through 4. You throw out cards. If you match them, they get moved out of the way into your steamer face up, and then the lowest card left cooks. That's points towards the end of the game. You keep throwing down cards and revealing them all at the same time until either 7 cards are cooked or someone runs out of cards. And that's pretty much it. There's a little bit of fun strategy and like trying to read your opponents and stuff, but it's a pretty straightforward game. I feel like I played this game like 300 times over the course of the weekend because it takes like 4 to 8 minutes to demo the game, and then people were constantly waiting in line for the next group to get to play. Everyone was pulled in by the cute broccoli theme, and it was just a fun time. I've never done anything like that, so it was cool to see like what people go through when they're running a booth or like pitching games to people. As a nerdy introvert, my social meter definitely depleted really quickly, having to play a bunch of games rapidly and then like also, just kind of having the same conversation over and over and over. But it was cool, and I was glad that they let me tag along and pitch their game, even though I didn't know it until the night before PAX started. They have 2 other games. One is called Tether. It's like a mirror card deck where you play horizontal and vertical against each other, and the numbers flip depending on which way you're looking at them. I don't have that game with me, but maybe I'll show off a link to where you can find it. There was a 3rd game that was like this Power Rangers co-op battling game that I thought looked really fun and cool. I didn't actually get to play it, but Quentin, who I met there, was pitching the game, and he's going to go to Kickstarter, I think, in a few months. So it looked really neat, really well polished. I liked the card design. I liked the art. And what blew me away is like the same artist made all 3 of these games. So if you're looking at the art with like this guy playing a saxophone in space or these robots, it's all the same dude. So that's pretty cool. I wish I could do cool art too. But yeah, because I was only there for 2 days and I was working a booth most of that time, I didn't actually get to do a ton of mingling and checking out other games. And the little bit of time that I did have, I went and had a lunch with DMTales, and I also got to meet the guy who made the Alien RPG, which was awesome, and the lady that made RAGNABORG. That was unexpected, but really fun and cool. And because I was slammed working the booth almost the entire time, I got like no video whatsoever. So I was kind of being a bad YouTuber. But here's a shot from DMTales creeping up on me while I'm teaching Don't Botch the Broccoli. But yeah, it was a really cool con. I would have liked to have got to try more games, play some board games and card games and things like that. There was a really big Magic the Gathering exhibit there, which I'm not at all surprised by. I would have liked to demo the new set and see some of the cards and stuff, but yeah, just wasn't in the cards this time around. But in that limited free time I did one of these scavenger hunt type things for all these Borg related stuff. I think it was called like a corpse crawl or something. You went around with your sheet and you got a bunch of people to sign it, and you got to enter like a raffle and get some door prizes and things like that. But that was a lot of fun. I met a lot of cool people that way, including like the vast Grimm guys, and then of course the Pirate Borg dudes, including Tyler, who ended up inviting me to play a game with Bob World Builder, which I'll talk about in a minute here. There was a lot of really cool stuff that I didn't know about, and because of that little corpse crawl, I ended up grabbing a few things I wasn't anticipating getting. And some of this was free stuff, and some of it was given to me, and some of it I paid for. So There's kind of a mix here, but I'll go through my haul. So one of the companies on the list, Severed Books, had a bunch of games and miniatures and RPG supplements, and I just thought that these little wooden meeple things were just really cool, and I had to pick them up. But yeah, they're these fun little miniatures, and I've just been all about the meeples lately for some reason. Yeah, I guess ever since I picked up my Land of Eam meeples and I got the Pogs from the Shadow Dark booth at Gen Con, I've been all about these little things. They're just fun little miniatures that don't weigh a lot. You can plop in your dice bag and take them with you to whatever game you're playing. Also, a lot of them are like really bright and colorful and stand out well, and everyone, including me as the game master, knows what's going on. They know where everyone is and don't get anything confused, so I've been a big fan of these. But yeah, they had a ton of styles of them at the booth, and a lot of them were just really fun and unique, and they have like a different front and back. I just thought these were so cool, and I had to pick up a few of them. Okay, I know there's a lot of Borg stuff out there, and I had to be really picky about what I actually ended up buying. And one of the things that just really caught my eye was this Bloodborg game. I haven't heard a ton about it, but it is kind of like the Warriors inspired, or the Lost Boys, if you ever seen those movies. Just thought the art was really cool. It has this nice like sheen to the pages on the side there with a good ribbon. And I just don't own anything like Vampire the Masquerade. It's a little too involved for my taste. But I thought like a vampire version of a board game sounded really fun. The guys who pitched it to me at the booth were super, super nice. I met Adam Voss, I think is how it's said, that wrote the game. And I just had to walk away with at least one of these books, and this ended up being the one. Keep your secrets, as the elders don't tolerate stupidity. Though some see through the lie, it doesn't take a genius to see there's something more happening in the shadows. Bloodborg is a gutter-pumped vampiric tabletop RPG for 2+ players, including a game master. Run through the sewers, copy your magic zines, and drain all the human sheep around you in the decrepit city of Scab. It's full of all the good vampire stuff that everyone loves, like monsters, occult priests, spell zines, and of course, ephemera, drugs, and blood. Blood is everywhere. Vampires are secret. You aren't alone. You aren't special. And you aren't safe. Oh, and they were also nice enough to throw me these 2 adventure zines, and they just look awesome. I'm looking forward to just digging in and seeing what's inside of these. And since I was grabbing all this Mork stuff, I picked up this Mork compatible adventure by Alan Hall, and it's got like 3 towers that are interconnected in them. Looked pretty cool, so I just grabbed it. I haven't actually had the time to read it because I've either been at the con or driving home, so... Alright, I'm moving over here for this part because one thing I wasn't expecting is that one of my favorite adventure designers happened to be there. Gavin Norman was there, and I already have all of these adventures and I already own them. So I just ended up picking up this little adventure for OSE just so I could have something to get him to sign. And I just thought that was cool that he was there and had to geek out for a minute and be like, you write some of my favorite adventures. I can still geek out. I'm a nerd at the end of the day, and it's cool when you meet somebody who writes stuff that you like. But yeah, this was Quick Delves #2, The Grotesque Grotto by Amelia Luke. So not actually by Gavin Norman, but, you know, I figured it was appropriate to sign something OSE. Speaking of geeking out, while I was at the Exalted Funeral booth, I ran into Tiger Wizard, who makes all these cool little, like, dungeon crawl postcards. And we were geeking out about Dungeon Crawler Carl, and specifically Princess Donut. And he told me, oh, well, I have this game called Dungeon Cats where you actually get to play as, like, cats running through dungeons. And so I was like, well, now I have to pick it up because that just sounds fun and cutesy and ridiculous. So I got that. And speaking of Tiger Wizard, go check out his Patreon. He has these really cool, like, one-sheet postcard dungeon crawls that just have great art and are a ton of fun and are really easy to run with whatever game you're playing. And here's a little secret. I'm going to try to convince him to do one of these as a stretch goal for 7 Delving Sins, the game I'm writing. But no promises yet, so don't hold too tightly to that. We'll see. But yeah, he was a very cool dude. We hung out a little bit at like a Exalted Funeral after party kind of thing, and then ran into the Pirate Borg guys again and stuff. So it was cool to see like all these different people from all over the TTRPG industry just mingling together, excited about games. I got to meet so many cool people, and it was a really fun time, even though I was exhausted the next day when I had a 10-hour drive home. So, but worth it. definitely worth it. Oh, and speaking of him, he gave me one of these cool Sewer Rats zines. It's an indie TTRPG anthology for 2025. It's just chock full of a bunch of weird, zany little adventures that you would expect from, like, you know, DCC or any classic OSR kind of feeling stuff. They are really fun, and I love the art inside of them. Just really cool and quirky and, you know, gonzo weird, but yeah. Oh, and I think he also has a podcast called Mad Dungeon, so I'll put a link down below if I can find it. Don't worry, I'm getting to the Pirate Borg stuff. Got a bunch of cool random swag too, like these Exalted Funeral collectible cards. I'll open this up just for fun if anybody cares about this part. This reminds me of those like old AD&D cards that would have magic items or like lore about different places on them. But it has a ton of really cool art from different Exalted Funeral games and stuff like Land of Eam and Dolmenwood, and a game that I'm personally very excited about called OldMoon. Survive enchanted and extraterrestrial medieval adventures in the bizarre world of OldMoon, where ancient tales of sword and sorcery take on an orbital twist. That was just a fun little thing they gave us in like a swag bag with some other goodies. Mouse printer. Alright, I know what you're thinking. It's time for this ship to come in, so we're going to talk about Pirate Borg. Oh, Pirate Borg, oh, Pirate Borg. I love me some Pirate Borg. If you haven't seen my videos where I'm putting together an island crawl and I'm mixing like Pirate Borg and Shadow Dark, check it out. I'll put one of the playlists up here so you can watch that. But yeah, I went by the Pirate Borg booth and they let us pick up our Kickstarter rewards early so that we didn't have to wait longer, and I assume and hope that they save some money on shipping that way, but I'm not actually sure. But I had ordered the Down Among the Dead screen and book, and I'm super excited to tear into this. Just look at that cover art. That's just, yeah, it's awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and say this on the record. Sorry to all the other Borgs out there, but Pirate Borg is my favorite Borg. Pirate Borg, best of Borgs. I think it has the coolest aesthetic of all these Borg games, and it has like the most meat to it in my humble opinion. I love pirate stuff. I love the ocean. I love seafaring adventures. I love ship combat. I mean, it just really scratches all the itches for me, and I couldn't help but just want to buy this really cool looking adventure book here. This book looks super cool and adds even more depth to Pirate Borg, which already I feel like has a bit more rules than a lot of the other Borgs do, with all the classes and the ship combat and everything else. Also, to me, they just nail it on the aesthetics every time. Like, this is just such a cool look to their design and their art and the colors, and I'm just a big fan of what they do. But maybe I should show off the box set a little bit. I'm going to do a video just on box sets, so I'll probably dive deeper into it in that video. But let's take a look at what's inside. Also, I just have to say, I love the like raised texture on the box set. It makes the art really pop. Just thought that was a cool feature. And inside, there's a bunch of different reference tables for things that are important to the game, which is a cool use of the space. But yeah, it comes with a lot of great goodies. I like their dice. They have very large numbers and are very legible. And if you've seen my video about dice and stuff, you know that's super important to me. It comes with these dry erase markers that go with some of the character sheets you can reuse in here. It has this deck of different things with stats like about the boats and things. Comes with the player's quick start guide, which is cool. It's like everything you need to start playing. This is a really good box set. Comes with this really thick zine of adventures. There's a cool map for all of them on the back. And yeah, it's just, I think we actually got to play in one of these. Tyler, correct me if I'm wrong if you watch this video. There's just some cool stuff that I don't want to totally spoil. And, you know, it's all island crawls and stuff, and that's just absolutely right up my alley. Treasure maps, pirate stuff. You can't go wrong, folks. Like I said before, it comes with these markers with erasers on the end and these laminated sheets, so you can jump straight into the action without spending too much time in character creation. Really awesome stuff. And if you're not a fan of those, there are double-sided tear-off character sheets, which is something I'm becoming increasingly a fan of. Lots of great maps inside for ship combat and boat fights and stuff like that. A map of one of the bigger islands and the region, along with, you know, some more boat fight kind of things. And this is a really cool bonus because I was about to buy one of these anyways. One of the maps has like a hex map on the back for doing the ship-to-ship combat, which is awesome. So now I don't have to go out of my way to get one of these. More piratey map handout kind of things. Cool looking beach adventure map. And I thought this was a really cool bonus. Like I was saying earlier, I've been a big fan of using meeples and like pog kind of things. It comes with all these like punch out pogs for a variety of things to track. I thought this was really cool too. If you've ever played any adventures like the Dark of Hot Springs Island, you're going to want to track like nighttime and daytime, and you can just do it with these little pogs that come with it. You can punch them out and literally hand out the chips as, you know, time passes during the day. So yeah, that's a ton of stuff that comes with this. I mean, it's really, in my opinion, a good value, especially if you're like starting off with Pirate Borg. You know, you've got all the rules to play the game. The only thing you're missing is like some extra options, and some of the more like DM facing kind of things are not going to be in the player's quick start guide. But it is a really great companion to running Pirate Borg, and it even comes with some things that you need, like a D2 in here with a skull on the back of it, just to make your life a little bit easier as a game master. Ooh, that feels really nice. It's got this like texture to it, and I bet you this glows in the dark. This is the GM screen, which I got along with Down Among the Dead. Oh, that's cool. I'm looking at it on my camera right now. Look at that Kraken. That is awesome. I'm just going to show this off real fast and then look at some of the things that are on the back. NPC names, a couple of stat blocks, some ash effects, which is like the psychedelic undead drug of Pirate Borg, some ancient relics, naval combat rules, which are very cool and very involved and a lot of fun. And honestly, I'm not just saying this, best naval combat rules of any role-playing game I have played. Like, if you were disappointed by Spelljammer, go check out Pirate Borg and just do that, but in space. Like I said before, I also snagged a couple of adventures because I didn't own them. But yeah, that was my haul for PAXU. It was somewhat smaller, definitely smaller than my Gen Con haul. I had to really stay on a budget this time. I got in trouble last time, and you know, some of those things were gifts, or you know, I picked up my Kickstarter stuff from Pirate Borg. So it was fun though. I got to look at a lot of things I wish I could buy. Like there was this Mouse Ritter adventure from Plus One XP, who had a really awesome booth. And other than that, I ran into this really sweet couple named Bob and Grace, and I ended up getting to play Pirate Borg with them, along with Tyler, the quartermaster of the Pirate Borg team. And he was an awesome game master. Like, that was legitimately one of the most fun games of any role-playing game that I've ever played. I am going to remember that session for a very long time. And I have to talk a little bit about this game because it was just a complete blast and a ton of fun. And all the folks that I ended up playing with were just really awesome. And it was such a good time. I met Austin and Sean, who both work on different things in the industry, and they were just a delight to play with. Everybody had different ways of playing, different ideas, and brought different things to the table. It was just a really good group and good mix of people. Okay, so a lot of this is probably going to be like had to be there kind of stuff that's only really funny in the moment. But we had such a weird group of misfit pirates, and they were all just kind of ridiculous in their own way. Like Bob was playing this character named Charles Blacktooth, and Grace was Legs Winkelstein, who had a double peg-legged pirate. And then we had a guy that was a sentient rat who slowly became just an anthropomorphic rat person over time.
No, you don't have a class, you're a rat.
And Sean was playing this character who would just pull a gun out of their coat and just take a shot and chuck the gun as they ran out of bullets. And I had a character named Chalk who was just this crazy old man with a tiny telescope. Yeah, you probably just had to be there. But it was a ton of fun. But honestly, the person who really stole the show and was the star player was Tyler, the game master. I feel like I learned a lesson about game mastering during that Pirate Borg game, which is enthusiasm and energy can go such a long way to make a game really, truly memorable and fun. And just an amazing gift at like yes-anding our stuff, but in a way that felt appropriate to the roles that we had. It was just a very awesome, super memorable game. And in fact, when I got back to the Airbnb and I was just giving the details to the broccoli team about, you know, what the game was and what happened, they just stared at me and they were like, this all happened in like 2.5 hours. I was like, yeah, yep. We fought a bunch of skeleton pirates and a giant skeleton ogre. We found the heart of the sea by some dumb luck. We scoured a seaside cave, found the black pearl. Legs Winkelstein named the unnameable god, and then became a terror worse than the devil of the locker himself. It was an awesome, amazing adventure and a really fun time. But yeah, it was a really great game. Tyler was an amazing game master, and somebody's got some big shoes to fill the next time that I get to play in a game. I just want to play more Pirate Borg now, so maybe we'll play some on the Discord. By the way, if you want to stay plugged in to what's going on behind the scenes or support me more directly, please check out either the mailing list or the Patreon. And both of these are absolutely free to sign up. Check out either one. I appreciate all the support that you guys give. It was a fun, short, sweet trip for me. I wish I had one more day so I could like explore Philly a little bit, go hit the Runehammer store, say hello to Hank. It was great, you know, it was a good time. There were a lot of cool booths I got to visit whenever I did have some breaks from running the booth. And yeah, I met a lot of cool people and had a lot of great conversations about role-playing games. So what more can you ask for from a con? Speaking of Pirate Borg and designing games and stuff like that, I'm going to try to keep up with the live streams where I do some of my adventure design for my island crawl or designing my own game, 7 Delving Sins. So if you want to be tuned in with what's going on, check out the mailing list. I'll dig back into the Pirate Borg box set in another video, along with some of the other box sets that I have, like this one right here, because I want to do a box set video soon. Also need to do a zines video soon. So those two things are on the horizon. Let me know if you guys went to PAXU or what your favorite con is and what you love about it. Leave a comment down below. Thanks to everyone who made the con such an awesome experience. You know who you are. I got to meet a lot of cool people. I'm probably forgetting some people. In fact, I spent some time walking around with Dave from Grimwood Games. Go check out his channel. He's got a game called Ironbound that sounds really cool. We didn't get to play it, but I would have liked to. And yeah, it was really cool to meet such awesome folks. Like I got to hear the stories about the folks we played Pirate Borg with, and they were just so genuine and disarming, and that is a refreshing thing when you live in online spaces. And I'll just leave it at that. So thanks for watching this video. Thank you guys for all your support. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this or if you like these sort of debrief videos. I don't know. I just did it because I had a lot of excited energy after the con and I don't know what to do with it. So I'm just going to talk about stuff. But all right, thanks for watching. As always, remember to learn, adapt, and be really enthusiastic about the games that you're running because it goes a long way. Grow.